Hey everybody, welcome to my place. Hey guys, welcome to my place, and we're gonna show you today some tricks and tips on how I food prep. We always get the complaints of time is always of an issue. So today I wanna show you guys all how I food prep, and hopefully you guys can learn some tricks and some tips on how to speed up your food prep so you guys can eat more nutritious food for yourself, for your goals, and for your family. Let's take a look at what we do. So before we get started, before I do anything, the first thing I do is get the kitchen ready for myself so that when I get back from grocery shopping, I'm ready to start my food prep, because like most people, I've only got 1 or 2 days a week to be able to do all of my food prep and get everything organized for the week for myself and for my family. So first thing I do is I clean everything out, specifically my sink. You can see here, there's nothing in my sinks. We've got everything cleaned out, ready, so that way when I get back, I can start cleaning my produce right away. And wait till I show you this trick. Oh, we've already put the groceries away. I got some collini here. This is actually available at Costco. It's fantastic stuff. As you can see, it's one of our fan favorites. So we got about 3 packages for the week. What you will notice is that there's variety, but it's also very simple. And so what I want to be able to make sure as I show you guys is how simple it can be and just how easy good food is, and you don't have to complicate it, okay? Got some cauliflower, got some cut up kale, sweet potatoes, we got asparagus, I got my chicken drumsticks, some salmon, some ground chicken, some broth, and then I have big bags of rice that we already had here, so let's get started. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pull all my Tupperware to get everything organized so it's actually a speedy transition here. So first thing we'll do, I'll get out my Tupperwares. I got these big matching Tupperware. So one thing I will recommend to all of you is make sure that you get Tupperwares that are big enough to be able to maintain your food prep for the week, okay? So I got these big ones, these Pyrex. They're fantastic and they're stackable. And the great thing about them is that you can bake with them right in the oven, okay? Because I'll start prepping my sink. So my sinks have already been washed out. Now I'm back from the grocery store. Then what's gonna happen is I'm just gonna fill this up with some water, okay? And then I'm gonna get my cutting board out. Then what's gonna happen is we're gonna start to chop some things up and put it in the sink so it's ready to go. So I keep it really simple sometimes. My general rule of thumb is I never want vegetables to go into the fridge without them being washed and cut before, because then what's gonna happen is during the week, I won't have time, right? So the big thing is that we wanna make sure that we can do as much as we can in at once, right? Because here's the good thing, is if I do it all at once, it's probably gonna take me about 20 minutes to do all of my vegetables for the week. If I do it every week, or every day, sorry, what's gonna happen is that it's gonna take me 20 minutes a day to wash everything up, cut everything out. So I like to do everything all at once just to make it super easy. Some of the tools that I use to do my food prep really fast and simple is, number one, I got an Instapot. If you don't have one, awesome tool. We've got an Active Fryer, right? So during the week, if we want to make some vegetables or we want to make up some meat really quickly, we can use this as a tool to make up some kale chips, potatoes, French fries. It's also my microwave because we don't have one, okay? I have my Pyrex Tupperwares, okay? I'm a big fan. I got some ceramic Tupperwares, and I've got my cutting board, and I've got my strainer. Okay, so I'm a big fan of my strainer here. So these are just some of the tools that I use to food prep really quickly throughout the week. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get the chicken started, because this is gonna be washing and I'm letting it soak for a couple of minutes. And what I wanna do is I wanna get my chicken started because it's gonna take about 30 minutes in the Instapot, okay? So very simple on how I do my chicken is the first thing I do is I grab some organic chicken broth from Costco, right? I just throw in, I'm not a measurer. Many people know this, I just cook from my heart. And I just kind of put in about, let's say about a 1/4 cup, right? Just enough so that I know that in the bottom there, you're not gonna be able to see any of the bottom. Then what I do is I come over here, grab a knife, okay, very simple. Pluck that open, I throw it all in, okay? So you can see, it's all just going in there, very simple. So I'll come over here and I got some spices to choose from. So I've got, these are some of my favorite spices that I use. I've got Urban Accents. They have a Punjabi tandoori spice. I've got Chaz curry masala. I've got Argentinian steak rub, and I really like this one. This one's a new one that I got from Jamie Oliver. It's a lemon, bay, salt, thyme mix. Awesome. So what I'll do today is, my cravings are very simple. I'm gonna go with some Argentinian steak rub. So I'm just gonna open this up. And generally one of these tubs will last me about 4 to 5 cooks of 12 legs. So again, no measuring. I just kind of put it all in there. Okay, nice and simple. Again, all covered up. Okay, then I grab my tongs, stir it all up. Okay, that's all done. And that's it. I'll turn this back on. What I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna turn it on to manual. I'm gonna cook it for about 30 minutes, and that's all there is to it. So that's gonna be cooking. That's gonna take me about 30 minutes to cook while I'm doing my vegetables and all my other food prep, so that way I can get 2 things done at once. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna grab my strainer here. Right, if you don't have a strainer, highly recommend that you invest into one. Makes things a lot faster and simpler. So I just like to turn my sink on here, and then I start putting in all my vegetables right into here. Okay, so I usually start with 1 vegetable at a time. I won't do 2, because what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna make this really fast. So I've already kind of made a little bit of a back end list while I'm food prepping now, because I like to go to the grocery store, and I always like to make sure I get a leafy green, I get some type of cruciferous vegetable, and then I get a mixture of some other vegetables. But because cannellini was on sale, and we really like it right now, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna put that right into the Tupperware. So food goes pretty fast in our house. We got 4 people eating. So what I'll do, I'll just come over here, grab my ceramic. Okay, I'm just gonna start prepping this right away, just like this. Because what's gonna happen is that because I work late, and my wife's alone at home at night, we want something fast and easy. So what she'll do is she'll just pull this right out of the fridge. She'll put the olive oil over top, a little bit of salt and pepper, and good to go, and there it is. So guys, what you can see here is that I've invested some money in some Tupperwares, right? Because if you're gonna be able to cook food and have everything organized really quickly for a family of 3, 4, 5, you wanna make sure that you do have the Tupperware. So you can see here, I've got about 6 good Tupperwares just for my food prep. That's not including what I'm gonna take for my lunch. So just make sure you do invest some money into some good Tupperwares or some good storage containers. Just about to start cutting. First thing I'm gonna do is I'm gonna sharpen my knife. That was a trick that was taught to me by one of my friends. He taught me always sharpen your knife before you start. So I'm just gonna start sharpening my knife here, and then I'm gonna start cutting my sweet potatoes. This is all while I've already got now. So you can see there, I've got my vegetables prepped for almost 3 days, okay? Now what I wanna do is I wanna start to prepare my carbs, and my chicken is already being started to be cooked inside the Instapot. What's it saying? I think it says it's got 25 minutes left. So I'm all doing this all at the same time. I'm not doing one at a time. It's all getting done, right? So I'm just gonna peel these off, and then we'll have the sweet potatoes ready to rock and roll. My sweet potatoes, I like them in all different formats. We eat white potatoes, we eat red potatoes, we eat purple potatoes. For some reason this week we just picked sweet potatoes, and every week I rotate them, right? So every week I'll buy a dark meat, I'll buy a light meat, and I'll buy a piece of fish. And every week we'll get a leafy green, we'll get a couple of different types of cruciferous vegetables, and we'll buy some a new type of potato. So this week just happens to be sweet potatoes. Now for all of you who know me and know a lot about my practice, a lot of my clients and I love the Actor Fryer. So I'm gonna chop these all up in different ways because my kids like potato chips, they like roasted potatoes, and they also like French fries. So I'm gonna get chopping. So I've got my sweet potatoes made, I've got my vegetables made. So look, I've got meals made for about 2 days now, and we're probably looking at about 25 minutes worth of food prep, and my meat's cooking, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start to prep my salmon, because we're gonna eat salmon tonight for dinner. One of my favorite condiments that we keep in our house at all times is my best friend, coconut soy sauce. Love this stuff. So all I do, put some on top, right? We're gonna make this later on tonight. Okay, so that's easy. All right, then what I do, grab a lime or a lemon, put some lemon juice. Okay, there we go. And because I am a lazy cook, So I have half this is gonna be coconut soy sauce. The other one is gonna be my friend Jamie Oliver. So Jamie and I, we're just gonna go in and we're gonna put it right on the other side. And because this is my only pan that I actually have that's big enough for this big of a salmon, right? We're just gonna pretty much put the salt and this flavored lemon thyme bay right over top. And that way, easy food prep, less dishes to wash. Again, is it the best way to do it? I don't know, maybe there's a more of an artistic way, but for me, I'm all about being at pace and being real with my clients. There you go, got my prep done. So I'll let that sit, and then what we'll do is we'll put that in the oven tonight about an hour before we go to have dinner. But the good thing is now I'll have some salmon for tomorrow's dinner already left over, because one of the big things we don't want to do is only make enough food for that meal. Big thing is that we want to have nutritious food made for the next day, and generally Saturday or Sundays we got a little bit more time, so always prepare extra. As I tell my wife and me, we make everything by the flat, so we'll never make 6 chicken legs. We'll take the whole package that we buy, we'll make the whole thing at once, so it's already prepared and easy for us to eat the next day. So a lot of people always ask me about why I always like to keep the active fryer. So here's one of the couple of reasons why you want to keep the active fryer. Number one is it makes food very quickly. Okay, number 2, it makes the best potato chips. 3, it makes the best chicken wings. If you're gonna have a salt craving at night, one of the best things that I always recommend to use is Kale Chips, okay? So here's what you wanna do. You wanna run over to, this is from Walmart, you can get them from Farm Boy. This is pre-cut, pre-washed, everything's ready to go, so I don't gotta do anything. What I do then is I'll take a steel pan, just like so. I'll put it right into the steel container, just like so. I have a little bit of olive oil. Okay, now the good thing about the active fryer, you don't need a lot of olive oil. So I just kind of free pour. Okay, there we go. And then I toss it. Then I'll just put it in right into the active fryer just like so. Now there's my veggies. Chuck this on, put this on. I'm gonna put it on for about 10 minutes. Okay, so now the other good thing about, yeah, I'm doing this all in the sun on a food prep day, but imagine you were busy. Imagine that you're coming home from work, you're looking for something fast and nutritious to be able to eat. Bam, you take 12 chicken legs, you put them in the Instapot. Okay, there's your 12 chicken legs. That's gonna be good for a family of 4. That's gonna take you roughly 35 minutes. Then I've got kale chips. It's gonna take me, that took me what, a whole matter of 2 seconds, or let's say 2 minutes to be able to prepare. So now you've got your vegetables made in 12 minutes. There's a great nutritious dinner for all. That could be a total of actual prep time in your kitchen. That could take you less than 10 minutes to have that going. Then you can go and do whatever else you need to do for the evening, because the great thing about these machines is that they turn off. So one of the reasons why I like making chicken legs a lot in my Instapot is because it gives me the benefit of being able to make broth. Okay, so yes, I add a little bit of the plain broth just to kind of give it a little bit more texture at the bottom. A big reason to why I use chicken legs a lot in my Instapot is because I want to be able to accomplish 2 or 3 things at once. So the one thing we are aware of is that the bones are being cooked and pressure cooked inside of the Instapot, giving it the ability to give me my bone broth for these meals. And what's awesome is that when I have the leftover chicken for tomorrow, this jelly's gonna form, which is gonna give me the collagen, which is great for rebuilding my gut. So for me, I get the best benefit out of using chicken legs because now I get broth with it. Plus, if I'm warming up my rice the next day, or let's say I'm warming up some fish, or I'm warming up my food in my pan, I'll just take the jelly from the leftovers of this chicken and use that to lubricate the pot so my food doesn't stick to it. So if you're looking for an easy 2-way streak of being able to make your own broth, make sure you get an Instapot, and chicken legs are fantastic. All right, so now my chicken legs are finished here in the kitchen, so we're gonna start to prepare the rice. Now, I'm a pretty lazy person. Again, I like to make things very simple, so I'm gonna show you a trick that I learned about using the broth from the Instapot. What I'm gonna do is I'm just going to release the pressure. So now, okay, there it is. Beautiful chicken, still boiling, freshly made. Just again, just some simple spices on them. Now what I'll do, so I'll tongue them out. Let some of the juices, because tomorrow that's going to turn into jelly over top of it, which is going to give me some collagen and some broth. Okay? Then I'd leave that much in there. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to add my rice right into the same broth. I haven't washed the pot yet. Okay? I'll add just a little bit of water. Okay? and I'm gonna mix it up. I just added 1 cup of rice. There we go. There's a little piece of chicken chunk. But again, that added lots of flavor. Push rice, done. Didn't even have to wash the pot yet. So that's why it's a simple little tool to have. Again, I'm cooking food for my whole family. Very quick and easy. The kale chips are just about on the verge to be done. The rice will be done, the chicken will be done, and I'll have food made for my next day as well. So, kale's done, kale chips are done. 7 minutes later, here they are. Nice little bowl here. Okay, add some salt. Okay, add some vinegar. Toss it up, and bon appetit. So my favorite. Now we're just letting this steam out, so you're gonna hear in the background. Now we're just getting you ready to show you what a meal looks like, okay? So I've got my chicken drumsticks. Okay, so for me, I usually eat about 4 drumsticks per serving. Okay, then we've got my arugula, okay, which I'm gonna probably put right over top of the rice, right? Just add some left over. Again, didn't have to wash, didn't have to prep, already cut and washed for me. It makes it really simple to be nutritious. So what you're gonna be able to see there, look at all the broth and all the flavors that are in there, okay? Now what I'm gonna do is I'm just going to take my measuring bowl that I used before, because I only need about 1 cup of starch per meal. Okay, there we go. Put it over so it looks nice. I'll just add some arugula over top in the corner, and I'll just eat it just like that. I won't even do anything fancy. I'll add some salt, a little bit of lemon. And there we go. There's a meal. And chances are I'm gonna eat this 3 to 4 times for the same day. And I'll just eat arugula, rice, and chicken drumsticks. And I'll just keep eating that over and over and over again. And then I'll switch up my sides. All right? So that's a day of prepping for me. You can see, right? We've got salmon ready. I've got all my veggies. I've got everything cut up. I think we had a timer on. It was probably about an hour to prep all the food. I've got at least 5-6 days worth of food prepped, organized, ready. It's fresh, it's simple, it's gonna be great for myself, my family, and for me to achieve my goals. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day.